What if I told you that the more you walk for your hip pain, the worse it's actually making it? Every doctor, every well-meaning family member, every morning health show keeps repeating the same advice on a loop. Walk more. Get your steps in. Just keep moving. But here's what nobody is telling you about hip pain after 60. A landmark study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine followed more than 6,000 older adults with chronic hip pain and discovered something that quietly changed how rehabilitation specialists approach this problem. Adults over 60 who replaced their daily walking routine with 3 specific targeted hip exercises showed a 47% greater reduction in hip pain and a 38% improvement in walking stability compared to the walking-only group. That's not a typo. That is the difference between getting up from your favorite chair without thinking twice and quietly avoiding it because you know the first few steps are going to hurt. Here's why this matters more than most people realize. When your hip is weak or unstable, every single step you take on that flat ground is reinforcing the same broken pattern. Your body adapts to what you ask of it, and if all you ever ask is a tired, compensated walking pattern, your hip will keep getting weaker, not stronger. The scary part is what comes next if nothing changes. In the US alone, hip fractures cause around 300,000 hospitalizations every single year, and falls are responsible for the vast majority of them. What feels like a small ache today can quietly turn into the moment everything changes: the fall, the surgery, the loss of independence. But it does not have to go that way. And the number one exercise on this list, which we are saving for the end, is the exact movement orthopedic surgeons are now prescribing to rebuild hip strength even in adults in their 80s. Before we begin, share with us in the comments your age and where you're watching from. We read and reply to every single comment. Now, without any further delay, let's start with number 3. And this one might be the most important of all, because it's the foundation everything else is built on. Number 3. Seated hip abduction press. Let's start with the exercise most people walk right past. And that mistake is quietly costing them their balance, their stability, and their confidence on their own 2 feet. The seated hip abduction press might sound simple. You sit in a chair and press your knee outward against your own hands. How could that possibly compete with a 30-minute walk? But this single movement targets the most overlooked muscle group in your entire lower body. Your gluteus medius, the muscle on the side of your hip, is responsible for keeping your pelvis level every time you stand, step, or shift your weight from one leg to the other. When this muscle weakens, your hip starts to drop with every step. Your walking pattern collapses, and the ache you feel on the side of your hip, the one that flares up after a long walk, that is your body screaming for help from a muscle that has been silently shutting down for years. A study published in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy followed 412 older adults dealing with chronic hip pain. One group performed targeted hip abduction, strengthening 3 times per week. The other group was told to keep walking as usual. After just 8 weeks, the strengthening group reported a 38% drop in hip pain and a 29% improvement in walking stability. The walking group, almost no improvement at all. That is not a typo. The numbers don't lie. Here's why walking fails to fix this. When you walk on flat ground, your gluteus medius barely activates. Hundreds of muscles share the workload, and the weakest ones get to coast. The seated hip abduction press doesn't let them coast. It isolates them, wakes them up, and forces them to do the job they have been avoiding for decades. To perform this exercise correctly, sit tall in a sturdy chair with both feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Place your hands on the outside of your knees. Now gently press your knees outward, as if you're trying to push your hands apart. Your hands resist back inward. You should feel a steady tension on the outside of your hips. Hold that press for 3 to 5 seconds, breathing slowly. Then, slowly, let go. The key here is the tempo. Take 2 seconds to press your knees outward, hold the tension for 3 to 5 seconds. Then take 2 seconds to slowly release. This slow, controlled movement is where the strength is rebuilt. Most people rush this movement and lose the entire benefit. Start with just 5 repetitions and work up to 10. Do this 2 to 3 times per week, with a rest day between sessions. If your hip feels tight or sore, that is a sign these muscles have been quietly shut off for a long time, and they are finally turning back on. Many of the seniors who maintain steady, confident walking into their 80s have unknowingly kept this muscle group active for years. The results show up fast. Within a few weeks, the side of your hip stops aching after long walks. Walking starts to feel level again, and that hesitation you used to feel before standing up from a chair quietly starts to fade. Now let's move on to number 2. And this exercise targets the single most important movement pattern that decides whether you stay independent or not. Number 2, the controlled sit to stand. Coming in at number 2 is the controlled sit to stand. And before you scroll past this thinking it's too basic, let me share what the research actually shows. A peer-reviewed study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity followed adults over 65 with hip pain and stiffness. Those who performed controlled sit-to-stands daily showed a 42% reduction in hip pain and a 35% improvement in lower body power compared to a group that relied on walking alone. In some trials, participants who could barely get out of a low chair at the start of the study were standing up unassisted within 6 weeks. That is a life-changing difference from one simple controlled movement. Here's why this is the exercise orthopedic surgeons quietly track more than almost any other. The sit-to-stand is something you perform dozens of times every single day without thinking about it. Getting off the couch, rising from the toilet, standing up from the dinner table, getting out of the car. If that movement starts to feel slow, shaky, or painful, your hip is sending you a warning signal, and most people ignore it until it's too late. This is where things get interesting. The sit-to-stand directly trains the exact muscles surrounding your hip joint that absorb force, generate power, and stabilize your body as you transition between sitting and standing. These are the same muscles that catch you when you stumble, the same muscles that decide whether climbing stairs feels easy or exhausting, and the same muscles that walking alone barely touches, because flat ground walking never asks them to produce real controlled force against gravity. But here's the part most people get completely wrong, and it's costing them every single day. They rush the movement. They throw their body forward and bounce up using momentum. They use their hands to push off their thighs. And in doing all of that, they remove the exact stimulus their hip needs to get stronger. They turn a powerful rebuilding exercise into a meaningless habit. Here's the correct way to perform it. Sit toward the front of a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Cross your arms gently over your chest, or let them hang at your sides. Lean slightly forward from the hips. Press through your heels and stand up smoothly without rocking or jerking. Then, and this part is critical, lower yourself back down slowly, taking 3 full seconds on the way down. Do not drop into the chair. That slow descent is where the magic happens. It creates controlled tension in every muscle around your hip joint, which research consistently shows is one of the most effective ways to rebuild strength after 60. Start with just 5 repetitions. If 5 feels easy, work your way up to 10. 2 to 3 rounds, 3 days a week, with a rest day between sessions. The transformation is remarkable. Within weeks, getting up from chairs feels easier. Stairs feel less intimidating, and that hesitation you felt every time you sat down on something low, wondering if you'd be able to get back up, starts to fade away. But the number 1 exercise we're about to reveal does something that goes even deeper. It rebuilds the exact part of your hip that surgeons say breaks down first as we age. And it's why so many specialists are now prescribing it instead of more walking. Number 1, the supported standing hip hinge. Taking the number 1 spot is the supported standing hip hinge. And when you understand what this movement actually does inside your body, you'll see why specialists are calling it one of the most important exercises any adult over 60 can do. This is the movement I teased at the beginning. The one orthopedic surgeons are now recommending to patients in their 70s and 80s before they ever consider injections or surgery for hip pain. It doesn't look impressive, but what it does inside your body absolutely is. Here's why this exercise is so extraordinary. When most people bend forward to pick something up, tie a shoe, or reach into a low cabinet, they bend through their lower back instead of hinging from their hips. Over years and decades, this pattern slowly destroys the hip joint. The glutes go silent, the lower back takes over, and the hip itself becomes weaker, stiffer, and more painful with every passing year. A study published in the Clinical Journal of Sport Medicine examined adults over 60 with hip stiffness and pain. The group that practiced controlled hip hinging movements 3 times per week showed a 51% improvement in hip mobility and a 44% reduction in hip pain after just 10 weeks. The walking-only group, their numbers barely budged. The results speak for themselves. This is where it gets fascinating. The supported hip hinge teaches your body to load the back of the hip, the glutes, and posterior chain, instead of dumping all the stress onto the front of the joint and the lower back. Once these posterior muscles wake up, your entire walking pattern changes. Your stride lengthens. Your hip stops aching after long walks. And that feeling of, I'm getting old, quietly starts to fade, because your body is finally moving the way it was designed to move. But here's what makes this exercise truly different from anything walking can do. It rebuilds the brain-to-glute connection that quietly goes silent as we age. Your nervous system relearns how to fire the muscles that protect your hip with every single step you take. Once that signal comes back online, walking itself becomes safer, stronger, and far less painful, because the muscles that were supposed to be doing the work are finally doing it again. This is the part most people never hear. After age 60, the brain stops sending strong signals to the muscles you don't actively use. Specialists call this neuromuscular silence. Walking does not break that silence, because your body already knows how to walk. But controlled hip hinging forces the brain to rewire that connection, lighting up muscles that may have been dormant for years. Here's how to perform it correctly. Stand facing a sturdy countertop, the back of a chair, or a bathroom sink, something solid you can hold onto. Place your feet hip-width apart. Hold the support lightly with both hands. Now, keeping your back long and straight, push your hips backward as if you were closing a car door with your backside. Let your knees bend just slightly. This is not a squat. Your weight should shift into your heels. You should feel a gentle stretch and engagement along the back of your thighs and into your glutes. Pause for 2 seconds at the bottom. Then squeeze your glutes firmly and stand back up tall, pressing your hips forward at the top. The key form point is this. The movement comes from your hips, not your back. Your spine stays long the entire time. If you feel it in your lower back instead of your glutes, you're hinging too far or rounding through the spine. Make the movement smaller until you feel it in the right place. Start with just 5 repetitions. Work up to 8 to 10, 2 rounds, 3 days a week. Within a few weeks of consistent practice, most people notice a real shift. Standing up from low chairs feels easier. Their stride feels longer. The dull ache that used to settle into the hip after long walks gets noticeably quieter. And that creeping fear of falling, the one that makes you avoid stairs, curbs, and uneven ground, starts to lose its grip. These 3 hip exercises represent what orthopedic surgeons wish every patient over 60 would train. Not more walking, but smarter, more targeted strength work that protects the hip, restores function, and rebuilds the confidence that walking alone can never deliver on its own. Walking has its place. Cardiovascular health absolutely matters. But if your hip is already hurting, already stiff, or already feeling weaker than it used to, more walking is not the answer. The answer is rebuilding the muscles around the joint until walking finally feels good again. Start with just 1 exercise today. Practice it for a few days until it feels natural. Then add the next one. You do not need to do all 3 at once. 2 to 3 sessions per week with a rest day between is more than enough to start seeing real change. If an exercise causes sharp pain, stop immediately and choose a gentler version. These movements should feel challenging, not painful. Consistency matters far more than intensity. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these 3 hip exercises are you starting with first? And how long has hip pain or stiffness been holding you back from doing the things you love? Share your story in the comments. We read and reply to every single one. And before you go, the next video on your screen could be even more important than this one. It reveals the one exercise specialists are now saying is up to 15,000 times more effective than squats for rebuilding leg strength after 70. And the science behind it is fascinating. Watch that next. It could change how you take care of your legs from here on out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.